Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Morning Mindset. If you are new to the Morning Mindset, I welcome you. I'm thankful you are searching for ways to strengthen your own soul during this difficult time with coronavirus sweeping the globe. We need to combat fear with faith, and that's what this current topic, this current series that I'm going through is about. We are learning about the fear of the Lord, a phrase we may not actually enjoy hearing because it brings a dissonance to our minds. We don't understand what it means. But let me define it. Then I want to tell you a story from my own life that started me on the path to learning this deep truth that we're walking into. Now, I would define the fear of the Lord as believing God to be who He says He is and conforming your thinking and your life to that reality. Now, the story of how this started to come to fruition in my life is back when I was first married. My wife and I married in May of 1989. And in 1991, our first son was born in August. And shortly after his birth, my wife developed a heart condition called a total heart block, where the cardiologists were just baffled by how this happened. And what it is, in short, is where the electrical system of the heart kind of shuts down and it defaults to a very basic rhythm of like 20 beats a minute, which is not even enough to keep a person conscious. And she was not staying conscious. She was drifting in and out. And so the prognosis was she was probably going to need a permanent pacemaker. Now think of that through. At 21 years old, a new mom, I mean, that's just unheard of. That doesn't happen very often. And so during that circumstance, I was faced with a decision, which we all are faced with at times in our lives. And it's the decision to maintain my faith in God and trust Him to be doing good in a very painful and difficult circumstance. I mean, if you would for a moment, put yourself in my shoes. I was a brand new father. I was a newly married young man. I had a very hardworking blue-collar type job, and I was struggling in my emotion, thinking of the prospect of losing my wife, being a single dad, not knowing how all that would work out. You see, it was a very disconcerting place that I was in. And I had to choose, am I going to fear the Lord, meaning believe Him to be who He says He is, and conform my thinking and my life to that reality? Or was I going to let fear reign? Was I going to become anxious? Was I going to get angry at God if He did not do what I thought He should do and what I defined as the loving and kind thing that He should do? You see, I had that decision before me. And many times we don't recognize we have that decision when we're in the circumstance. We let our emotions reign. We let them push us to a place of reaction rather than a place of reasoned response based on who God has revealed Himself to be. You see, that really is the key. We've got to begin learning that when God reveals Himself to be a certain way, even though our mind can't always conceive it and we don't know what it means in the day-to-day circumstances of life, we need to not only accept who He says He is, but learn to embrace it. Because think about this, when you love an individual, you love their qualities, you love their characteristics, you love who they are. So when God reveals who He is to us in the Scriptures, even though we may not understand it, and sometimes it even brings dissonance to us, we must agree that it is good, and we must embrace it if we are to love Him and love His ways. And you see, that started me on the road to accepting that should the worst happen in my circumstance, I still need to fear the Lord, because He is not guilty of doing wrong if what I consider to be the worst happens. My friends, this is a difficult subject, but stick with me. We're going to look at a biblical example tomorrow, and I hope you'll join me and invite a friend to listen.